Hey guys, it's Joey, Value TCG. Hope everyone is having a good day, a good week. So today we are going to be talking about Pokemon. I know usually I talk about One Piece, but once in a while I want to kind of dive over into the Pokemon world. I think going forward, I was thinking about this and probably, I'm going to be doing like 75% One Piece content and, maybe 1 in 4 videos being more Pokemon oriented. Maybe less, maybe more. We'll see how I feel, but I do think it's really, really important to talk about Pokemon because ultimately, guys, if we think of the Pokemon fan base, right? Like as a Venn diagram. Um, and we think about the One Piece fan base as the other part of that Venn diagram. I think it's actually more of a perfect circle because I think there is almost nearly perfect overlap between the two fan bases. People buy one for the other or the other. Um, and it really, really has driven prices for One Piece when Pokemon is not very popular, and vice versa. So that's why I want to focus a little bit more about Pokemon today. And there's just so many things happening in the Pokemon world. It's effectively what was happening in the One Piece world last year and I think these two franchises were reversed. When Pokemon was doing super, super poorly, no one wanted to buy the new sets that were coming out. Everyone was cutting their own orders if they were an LGS, and everyone's trying to get into One Piece. This is the exact opposite this year. Everyone's trying to get into Pokemon, and a lot of people are exiting One Piece. So, I think if we, think about how this will potentially trend over the next few months, we might see a similar impact with money potentially going back to One Piece. Anyways, for now, I just want to talk about what's happening with a few things and how to think about this. Before I do that, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that would be super, super helpful. So thank you guys, those of you who have been commenting and supporting the channel. You guys are the freaking best. Um, so yes, you probably have seen this. Pokemon has gone absolutely crazy. Um, Elite Trainer boxes for the new uh, set Prismatic Evolutions. Pre-order prices, like usually pre-order prices are a little bit above MSRP, just because not many I guess websites are able to, or not many stores are able to list. But we're just seeing crazy, crazy pricing. 151. This is nearly 3 times MSRP. Even even Walmart is charging like 120, $130. They were trying to. I think they brought it back down to $80 for pre-orders. It's absolutely insane. You see the sell-through, so much sell-through. I mean, this is all just today. I mean, look at this. There's just incredible amounts of sell-through for this set. At $150 a box in ETB, that's a stupid price. I hope people are not actually, without having to, have a good reason, I hope they're not paying this price. Ultimately, I think over time, as more products for Prismatic Evolutions are released, we are going to see prices going back closer down to MSRP. And the reason why I can say that with full confidence is, do you guys remember this? If you guys have been part of Pokemon for a while now, you probably know that Evolving Skies has always been the biggest chase, right? This was the hottest set and the hottest time for Pokemon, for really many card games. In that middle of 2021 period, they released this. This had Evolutions, this had Rayquaza, so dragons, and they combined those two into a single booster box. And this thing, it just had so much hype and so much interest. And right now, I mean, it's kind of followed that through. For now, it's like $1,400 a booster box. Um, and this has been like really a rocket ship over the last 12 months, and even more so before this, right? But guys, this booster box was available for about MSRP or lower on the reprint. It was super, super popular when this was first released, and then it went back down to MSRP, and below MSRP. People were able to secure cases at $110 per booster box during the reprint because, Pokemon, when they reprint, they're a little bit like One Piece, right? They're a little bit like Bandai. You just don't know how much they're going to reprint and what cadence. Um, and the one thing about this is during that reprint, people were saying, yeah, Evolving Sky is super, super hot. They're going to reprint this again and again and again. So, you don't have to buy a booster box now. And a lot of people didn't, right? So that's why I think for Prismatic Evolutions, once we start going through the first waves, once we see those reprints coming through, I do really believe that we are going to see much closer to MSRP, if not MSRP pricing for Prismatic Evolutions. I think Pokemon very much recognizes that there's a ton of demand out there for this, and they typically will go up to meet demand in a pretty quick manner. The one thing that kind of pumped One Piece last year is just that, everyone was super sure that that Bandai was not going to go out and print more because they only had a set number of printers. They were only printing in Japan, all these different reasons. And as a result, we saw booster box prices just go ballistic, right? This is kind of the opposite here, that if you've been a part of Pokemon for some time now, you know that 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 these guys tend to reprint. They love going and meeting demand, and if on release you're seeing $151 booster box or ETBs, Elite Trainer boxes, they're gonna go up and meet demand. I know if you guys have watched like a PokeRev video recently or Danny Phantom videos, like those guys are like kind of poo-pooing and disappointed with Pokemon and like, oh, I can't believe they're not printing more and they've like screwed this up again. Like, yeah, but they did screw this up, but they tend to fix their mistakes. We've seen Vivid Voltage, like a huge reprint for that one when demand went through the roof. And even now, Vivid Voltage, I don't think it's like those ETBs are still like they did a huge wave of ETBs. I think those prices still haven't really recovered. Yeah, like you're at slightly above MSRP for booster boxes. This is still available, I believe, on the Pokemon Center. ETBs pretty much just MSRP plus ship. So let's see, a little bit higher than that with the recent craziness. This has gone up, but largely for a very long time, it stayed at that low, low, low price. Low, low, low price of $39.99. Buy it now. In fact, not many people did buy it then or for a long time afterwards, right? We saw this little bump in the middle of July, and then this came all the way back down to $40 again. So I just want to say that especially around the holidays, Pokemon gets a little bit more challenging to secure just because, you know, around the holidays, um, Pokemon tends to be a really good present, and as a result, people tend to buy out products. But when the reprint hits, things get a lot better. So just hold out, guys. And one other couple, oh, maybe a couple other things I want to talk about. Just I want to show you guys what I mean um, by price volatility in Pokemon, and the fact that really oftentimes there's a lot more thematic things going on in Pokemon rather than One Piece, right? One Piece, the themes are generally just like, oh, this meta, this type of color is moving into the meta, and as a result, prices surge, so on and so forth, right? People don't really play Pokemon, the card game, all that competitively. But what they do is collect. So you just see these kind of cycles of hype, of excitement about certain things, right? Alternate Arts has seen this, and we're going to go over that right now. But we've also have seen it with full art trainers, with like the waifu cards, and those tend to fade um, relatively quickly after that initial hype fades away. So do not FOMO, guys. Do not FOMO and buy at the peak. That's the best advice I can give you. And so this is, by the way, this is the second time that alternate arts have spiked. So if you look at this, right, this card, Tyranitar V, it was a $90 card. It spiked all the way up to $190 for a card, and then came all the way back down to $135 for this alternate art, just even in November of this year, right? This is from Battle Styles. This is when the earliest sets of Sword and Shield era cards, and you just saw this big spike in volatility because of oftentimes it is manipulation. We saw huge buyouts um, in alternate arts around this period, so card prices went up and then came all the way back down, right? So this is not obviously just unique to battle styles like Umbreon. I mean, Umbreon has held prices a lot better, but prices for Umbreon, if I could roll this back, I remember the price for this card going from like $300 all the way to six, seven, $800, and then coming all the way back down to $400, $500, and it stayed there for a long time until really last Christmas, last holiday, or I guess a couple holidays ago. So Christmas of 2023, and then it went back, and then like we saw another surge again with that kind of buyouts and alternate arts, and then it came back down to 800, and now we're starting to see this huge acceleration from that lower point again. So Umbreon VMAX, this is the chase of the Sword and Shield block, so I understand why it's really really expensive. But just a heads up that I probably wouldn't FOMO, and many other cards. I do think that $1,500 is way too expensive for this card. Rayquaza, same thing. Look at this, right? $300 went all the way up to $500, came down to $400. So at least I guess in Evolving Skies, because Evolving Skies, the booster prices themselves have stayed so expensive, it has kept a level of base price after I guess the buyouts and the moves happen, right? Arceus, look at Arceus, right? Like when we don't have that base level of price, like we don't really have Brilliant Stars being a super expensive booster box. Even today, it's not a super expensive booster box. Yeah, 200 and relative to some of the other ones, right? Yeah, it's moving up. Um, but for the longest time, look, it was just right above. I mean, it was available on Pokemon Center for the longest time and finally sold out. And now it's finally making a move up. But when you don't have that type of demand, or that type of layer price, base price for the booster box themselves and boosters themselves. The cards themselves just don't really hold that much value. So I mean, it was 25 bucks, went all the way up to 50 during the buyouts, and then came all the way back to 25. Went below 25. That's just crazy, and now it's moving back up again. I actually think this card is absolutely stunning, so I'm surprised that there hasn't been as much demand for this card, but it is what it is. Moltres, another card. I think this is probably the second best looking card, second or third, in my opinion, best looking card of the Sword and Shield era. And if you look at just the price volatility, 130 bucks, went up to 180, went all the way back down to 130 bucks, and now it's 150. So, take that however you will. I would just say that, once people start exiting Pokemon, or once this new kind of craze wave fades a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised if prices came back down to maybe not 120 or 130, maybe like 135, 140, very reasonable price. And now, I mean, right now it's 170. I should say. I mean, this guy's selling it for 156, but I do think prices will normalize. And yeah, look at look at Charizard. Look at the Zard, 120. I mean, this was below 100 for a while. So 120 went to 200, came all the way down to 130, held a little bit more, height than before, a little bit more, a little bit more of a price, but then, we're seeing this reacceleration again. Gengar VMAX. This is another one that I think this is maybe the second best looking card in Sword and Shield era. Just my opinion, of course. And prices, yeah, 200 bucks. I bought it around this time for $200 for like 180 bucks, right? Near mint copy. Went all the way up to 400. I thought it was pretty crazy, and then went back down to 300 bucks. I did not think that this would reaccelerate to nearly $700, to be fair. But again, this is the second best looking card in the Sword and Shield block, so I understand why you're starting to see acceleration. But would anyone be surprised if this card drops down to 500 bucks, $450, 500 bucks, something like that, in 2-3 months time? I don't think anyone would be, frankly. And then one of the last booster sets to come out in Sword and Shield era, the best card of Lost Origin is Giratina. Giratina, yeah, we're seeing, this big price bump. This has always been a really expensive card. I think this is a pretty good looking, right? I mean, it's, he's in the future, I think. I can't really tell what the background is, but it is a really good looking card. It was at 250 for pretty much forever of its life. Went up to 500 bucks, came all the way down to 330, um, and then now up to 600-700 bucks for a near mint copy. Um, yeah, we're $550 for this one, 570. And would anyone be surprised again if this were to come back down to 400 bucks? I don't think so. And then lastly, Lugia. This one's interesting to me that there's so much price acceleration here. I think this is just kind of goes to show that people aren't being fully logical with how they're approaching this. So price is 100 bucks, went up to 200, came all the way down to 160, and then now 250. The reason why I say that I don't think people are being very logical is because so Pokemon International really screwed up the distribution of Silver Tempest. And what I mean by that is Silver Tempest was always, there was just always some weird goofiness happening with it, right? You had these God packs, these packs that were I think errors really, and they put them in a bunch of products. Some of them were in sleeve booster packs. Some of them were in like, you know, these collection boxes. Um, and those packs just always had hits. Like I have a video of me opening some of those booster packs up, so the sleeve ones, where every single one had like a V Star um, or a like a 4 trainer. It was insane. So a lot of this product, a lot of Lugia V's alternate arts got onto the market a lot more than some of the other cards that we just talked about. So I do think that prices should come back down, especially for this card. That's just my feeling on this one. Now, I talked about reprints. When do I think reprints might come? I don't think reprints are probably coming for Sword and Shield. I don't think that it makes sense for them to go back at this point to really reprint any of the Sword and Shield era block cards, and that's why I think a lot of people are, first of all, not selling their cards, right? They're keeping on to their own ones, their own copies, and then that's why some people, the newer players that are getting into the hobby, they're buying up a lot of stuff. So as a result, it is definitely creating this acceleration. But I think what's going to happen is you're going to see Silver Tempest products. You're going to see um, probably Lost Origin products and, a couple of the other, maybe some Chilling Reign products on the market for quite some time. You're going to be able to find them at Walmart. I wouldn't be surprised, if MJ Holdings or some of the other Excel, some of the distributors for Walmart and Target have just warehouses of this stuff on backstock, right? And that they're going to kind of allocate out throughout the next couple of years. I do think we're going to be able to find this for the next couple of years. And also, one thing that probably people are underestimating as they're just going all in and buying booster boxes of Lost or wait, this is not booster box. What am I looking at? Where's the booster box? This one. Buying booster boxes of Lost Origin for $373. That's crazy, guys. Don't do that. Don't pay so much money for this because guys, they printed a lot of these booster boxes, right? They just printed out the wazoo. Like BJ's, which is like this warehouse club, they're a little bit like Sam's Club, they're a little bit like Costco. They were selling these 2 years ago around Christmas time for $75 a booster box. $75. I think, and I believe that included tax. So it was even lower than that. So I ended up buying a bunch of them, but and a lot of people did. But my point is, right? Don't FOMO. Don't, think that the inventory is going to be over. You're never going to be able to buy this stuff ever again. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to see a lot of this product, you know, on the market for some time. And I just want to see how much like a Unify Minds booster boxes today. Okay, about $1,000. So yeah, there it is. This whole market is driving everything up higher. But I do think that once people need to monetize, start cashing out, I do think we're going to see prices probably coming back down. I'll be very honest. Anyways, thanks guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you guys want to see me do more Pokemon videos or just stick with One Piece. I've I'm a big fan of both franchises, so let me know what you guys think, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next time.